There's a serious lack of happiness or even euphoria. Only when the war began, I realized that these moods are created by children. You know, the kids you see playing outside and screaming and laughing, riding and falling, they made everything feel alive. But now the kids have all been taken away or evacuated from Kharkiv. There are very few children left in the city. This year, I saw more children around, not many, but more than before. This alley used to be so alive, so full of energy and important that energy. Now it's all gray, empty, and always reminding us of the times we live in. What year it is and what's going on, even if the sirens aren't going off.
This is our strategic supply of water, which we keep in case the power goes out again. Same goes for the gas tank over there. I am usually either posted up here or out there in the hallway. I even have an armchair and everything. During night raids, which are quite regular almost every other day currently, we've got a mattress. We carry it out to the hallway and sleep on it. We didn't even have time to get frightened. It all happened so fast, an explosion, boom! And then our apartment complex group chat exploded, talking about the fire in one of the buildings. These scars are going to last, whether we want them to or not. Because now, every loud noise scares you to death. The hearing became too acute, and now you're always listening for missile noises or explosions.
It's New Year's, and the occupants placed holiday trees all over the city. Some they even brought from Russia, Father Frost's homeland. But it's so horrifying to witness. The big picture is that these holiday trees are installed in places of mass murders, such as, for example, the bombed-out drama theater, Liberty and Peace Square, and all these places that were always targeted by the Russian aviation. Now they dance and sing songs there, but these are places which mere months ago were full of corpses and severed body parts.
Сейчас мы находимся на площади Ленина. За моей спиной огромное количество людей. Все они собрались здесь для того, чтобы посмотреть на торжественное открытие главной елки Мариуполя.
Что происходит в городе, что происходит в Мариуполе?
What's going on in the city, in Mariupol?
Оккупация, да.
Mariupol is under occupation.
Выражается в оккупации города.
But it's not just a physical occupation of the city, but a mental occupation of the citizens' minds as well.
Мозги людей. Дошло уже.
It's gotten so bad that even those Mariupol residents who were there,
которые это все видели,
who had seen the makeshift graveyards and residential quarters,
которые видели бомбардировки,
those who'd seen the air raids and Navy artillery fire, when I talked to them, they vehemently try to prove to me that it was the Ukrainian army that shot at them and bombed them.
People got used to the constantly ongoing mobilization, used to seeing people in military uniform on the streets, used to having their friends and acquaintances be drafted, and that many of them never return. These things that used to incite horror became part of our daily life, but at the same time, I wouldn't call it habitual. It's part of our lives. We had to adapt and learn new skills and become strictly disciplined when it comes to air raid sirens. People aren't even fascinated by it anymore. They used to be curious and nosy. But after having their windows shattered by an explosion, even a secondary one from an intercepted missile, they got traumatized. And whenever it happens again, they now rush to the bomb shelters.
This winter, in December of 2023, I can feel more optimism in the air of Kiev. It feels warmer and brighter than last year. Last year, Kiev looked and felt post-apocalyptic. In the last year, and half of my entire life completely became about humanitarian work and aiding the victims, those who lost everything. We work in villages, tough places, and places that are constantly under fire. Kiev has been brought back to life, but the frontline territories, not so much. Whenever I visit these places, they look like exclusion zones, like Chernobyl. Or they look like places that are enveloped by a lethargic slumber. Kherson especially feels to me like a city that has been put into a lethargic slumber. There are only 30,000 people left in a city that used to be home to 370,000.
The Russian media outlets only show the parts of Mariupol that look presentable. It's mostly these new buildings that they erected on the outskirts of God knows where. They also show selective parts of the city center, those that are not off limits. But the thing is that most of it is off limits. I mean, the city center is full of desecrated and burned out buildings. Everything on the left bank is even worse. All the former inhabitants of the Mariupol city center have either been deported from the city entirely, or, if they're lucky, they get housed in these newly erected apartment buildings. But they were built on the outskirts and on the highways leading into the city. So the paths of any future counteroffensive, that's where the occupants built them, to be their human shield.
It was especially shocking when missiles hit the House of Scientists. It was Tolstoy's former residence, by the way. This cathedral was the burial place of House of Vorontsov, among other things. It doesn't matter what the local attitudes towards such places are. What matters is that Russian missiles don't care what they hit. Whether it be monuments of Russian or Ukrainian legacy. They hit whatever target they can find.
How has my life changed in the last 2 years? Unbelievably. I lost both of my parents. I buried mom and dad. The war took them from me. Throughout these months, I've been separated from my only child, my daughter who lives in another country. Physically, yes, the raids have become less frequent. Are they still a factor in our lives, which are completely unpredictable and you never know when your missile will strike, as we say so? Also, yes. The sense persists, and I'm afraid it will last a long time. The emotion that best suits December of 2023? Emptiness.
It's obvious that they won't leave us alone, but remembering New Year's Eve last year, the air raid siren was on from midday all the way until 4 or 5 in the morning. It's been a long time since I'd had a festive feeling. This is perhaps the thing that saddens me the most, the fact that the ability to derive pleasure from the simplest things is gone.
We always say that it's not that bad so far this year, that we still have light in and electricity so far this year, that our houses and windows are still intact so far this year. This so far clause that permeates our conversations now is going to become a last and turn of phrase. So far, alive so far, well so far, have lighting so far, have heating so far. Every time you utter it, you get the sense that tomorrow it might change. Hell, it can change an hour from now. That's how it is, unfortunately.